power of Aboriginal people existed in males and elder males. They were the knowledge holders, they were the decision makers. Governor Macquarie introduced this practice of issuing breastplates or king plates in 1816. So this says Tommy, King of the Warrenora tribe. Now we don't know whether this is a genuine one or not, that Aboriginals were given these symbols, but it was very much against traditional culture, because creating a false royalty of kings and queens and princes and all that sort of stuff, it was a transplant from Britain, but it wasn't necessarily part of the Aboriginal culture, and it would have contributed to a breakdown of Aboriginal culture, because you've taken away the power of the elders, you've given it to someone who maybe didn't deserve it, but might have been someone that the settlers could manipulate or gain curry from, or, favour from, and so on. These artefacts were donated to the museum by a person who was very much into Aboriginal education but collected them from the Western Desert. In here is a very precious item. It's called Khadija Boots. The Khadija man was like a medicine man, or a witch doctor is the incorrect term, that's a very American term. But the Khadija man was a very powerful elder who could sometimes have the power of life and death. If he pointed a bone at someone, the person would know that he'd had a spell put on him and he could go off and die. But they also arranged marriages and things like that. But the Khadija boots are made from feathers and hair and so on, and they would wear that so they could creep up at night and they wouldn't be leaving footprints and so on. That's the example there. This item is made from human hair and emu feathers, and that would be used to place on the head like that, and then to perhaps carry a coolaman or even a child or something like this. So the woman did a lot of the carrying. Most of the things that we see over here are male things like hunting boomerangs and so on, but this is a woman's object. This is a digging stick, and women would always carry this, and they would be digging for yams. And the woman who donated this collection to us put incredible value on that as a woman's object. Now, often two people would sit in these, and they would fish from it with a string line. In the front of the bark canoe is a piece of white clay, and on that you might see that there is some twigs that are there, and they would cook the fish as they fished. When the first fleet came in, and when Cook came in indeed, they described Botany Bay as having lots of these Aboriginal canoes, all fishing out there in the bay. They seemed terribly unstable, but that was their transport. If you would like to have a look at this particular item over here, it's a shelter, and of course that's a permanent thing, but when you're moving around, Aboriginal people would cut a piece of bark from a tree and flatten it out on a fire and bend it over some saplings, and it was just a very rudimentary shelter that would just keep rain off and so on. So they might just leave that when they moved on. They might stay in a place for weeks at a time and so on, but they had no permanent structures, and they moved around. Grinding stones were items, a piece of flat rock that you would grind seeds with and make a paste, like a damper type of thing. So an important part of cooking. Lots of stone axes for different purposes, but that's made of basalt, which is probably an item that's traded over a period of distance. A very hard rock, it's an igneous rock, and that would be very good for cutting with, whereas other rocks are softer and so on.
Thanks for watching this tour by Bruce Watts of the Sutherland Shire Historical Museum. You can learn more about him in episode 27 of Shire Talk TV. This coming Sunday, the 21st of July, is the Sutherland to Surf, an 11km fun run from Sutherland to Wanda Surf Club. Close to 6,000 people come down to take part in the event. It's the longest running major community event in the Shire and is not to be missed. Shire Rewards is a free app that gives you cash back just for shopping at participating businesses in the Sutherland Shire. Simply download the app from the App Store or Google Play. Get your $5 for completing your profile, and you can spend it at any participating businesses. When you make a purchase, upload a photo of your receipt to the app and you will get points credited to your account. You can redeem those points to get free food, drinks, or discounted services at any of the participating businesses. Shire Rewards also has special offers, competitions, and giveaways. Start being rewarded for shopping locally in the Shire. Download the app today.